In recognition of Safe Schools Week, Versa Senior Safety Consultant Fonda Craig toured Mountain View Elementary in Prince William County along with Safety Specialist Jim Honeycutt and Brian Antolic to search for hazards that could lead to injuries and common VOSH compliance issues. 10 things to be mindful of in schools are: Number 1. Slips, trips, and falls. They are the number one cause of injuries to staff from both a frequency and severity standpoint in school systems. Slips, trips, and falls related to standing on desks and chairs are especially common at the beginning and the end of the year when teachers are putting up and taking down decorations.
When entering a classroom, I will often look for items stored above a teacher's reach and then look for a step stool. I ask how they access those items. Versa has a flyer to remind teachers not to stand on desks or chairs and has a space to include a number or person to call if they need a ladder or step stool.
So one of the things here is that there are items stored above. So my next question is, where's a step stool or ladder, some safe way of gaining access to those?
Number 2. Slips, trips, and falls related to cords running across walkways or items such as book bags and pieces of paper found on the floor are accidents waiting to happen to unsuspecting teachers.
Teachers should have facility maintenance cover or reroute cords so that they do not create a trip exposure. Also, take a minute to remove items from the floor and out of the walkway.
Number 3. Unlabeled secondary containers located in the custodian closets are a common compliance issue when it comes to hazard communication standards.
So this is a custodial closet here in one of our schools, and one of the things we look for as soon as we come in here, we make sure everything's properly labeled. If they take a chemical and put it in a smaller container, they have procedures where they are supposed to label and identify what that chemical is. We also have SDS posters where there's an 800 number that they can call, and they will get somebody on the phone that will basically tell them anything they need to know about that product.
Number 4. Slips, trips, and falls caused by floor mats and area rugs.
Teachers will often bring rugs and other furnishings from home to help decorate their classrooms.
We have slip, trip, and fall exposures that are the number one injury type in school.
The edges may be frayed and rolled, which create a trip hazard.
Number 5. Slip, trip, falls from spills, grease, and wet surfaces are also common, mostly in the cafeteria and hallways.
Having procedures in place to address spills, grease, and wet surfaces when they occur is essential. Procedures including barricading the exposure, followed by prompt clearing of the hazard. Proper footwear can also help to reduce the frequency of slip, trip, and falls in these conditions.
Number 6. Ensure that any combustible materials are not being stored near a heat source, such as in a boiler room.
Most schools struggle with having adequate storage space, so the mechanical room is often used for storage. Combustible materials are stored against heat-producing equipment, which creates a fire hazard.
Number 7. Ensure that playgrounds are inspected each year.
Here in Prince William County Public Schools, our safety specialists are certified playground safety inspectors through the National Recreation and Park Association. With our playgrounds, we inspect them annually. Every summer, we look for entrapments, entanglements, protrusions. If we find any issues, our facilities department will come out and repair them. We also keep our servicing up to date. If we find the servicing to be low, our facilities department comes out and gets it to the adequate depth.
Number 8. Ensure clear access to items such as electrical panels, which may be accessed quickly in times of emergency.
Then we have electrical panel is another area where we see compliance issues. And we actually have the warning here that says not to store items within 36 inches around the panel box.
Number 9. Slip, trip, falls during inclement weather both inside and outside of the building is another loss area that requires attention.
We are about to go into the fall and winter months where we see the majority of slip, trip, and fall incidents that are weather-related. Extending the length of floor mats at the entrance, closely monitoring the floors, clearing the parking lots and walkways of snow and ice prior to staff and student arrival, and addressing refreezing are some of the risk control measures to take to minimize the exposure.
Number 10. Overloading electrical outlets is another exposure that is commonly found in the classrooms and break rooms.
Not having enough electrical outlets has contributed to the improper use of power strips and daisy chaining extension cords. During the self-inspection process, remove any of the 2-wire brown extension cords that are used in your home, and do not allow one extension cord to be plugged into another extension cord or power strip.
For more information on creating safer school facilities, visit our website at www.versa.us.